So, good morning, everybody. We look like we don't have so much of an audience here, but that's fine. I'm here basically I'm from India. My name is Karma. I have a business in the retail space, retail e-commerce, and I do a lot of data science also. We have two business segments that we focus on. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the future of retail. So, in the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of innovation that's happening. Even now, we live in a completely new world. I mean, the world has completely changed. For example, and it has changed not only from the perspective of how we do business, but it has changed from a standpoint of what the market looks like. So, for example, if you see here, in the past, right, you had all these big companies that were basically the market cap in around 2006, about a decade ago. All the major companies were basically either big in oil or banks. Like you have ExxonMobil, General Electric, Gazprom, and you have one Microsoft, which is a tech company there, then Citigroup, Bank of America, etc. In just a decade, that whole complexion has changed. That means today, the top 5 companies, like they are listed there, is Apple, Alphabet basically meaning Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook is there. Berkshire Hathaway goes at number 6 in 2018, right? You have only one oil company. What that means is basically that data is the new oil. Hi. Oh. Sorry about that. Okay. So this is the current scenario. So you've seen this. This is the current scenario. You have Apple. Apple probably is going to be the first $1 trillion company in the world. They are at around $925 billion in market cap. Probably the market cap is more than the GDP of some of the countries here in ASEAN and the South Asia region as well. You have Amazon, you have Alphabet, Microsoft, and Facebook, right? So I told you, Berkshire Hathaway is on number 6. And you can't see any banks in the top 5 category, neither oil. So the total market cap of these businesses are around $3.7 trillion. The GDP of a country like India, which is around 1.3 billion people, is around $2.6 trillion. So what that means is the market cap of these top 5 companies exceed the GDP of a country, one of the largest democracies in the world. So, and how did we get there? Is basically all these companies that I've shown you here are based on data-rich companies, right? Amazon is also there. And so with that, keeping that in mind as basically the underlying structure, I would want to go about into the future of retail, which is, so you've seen this quote. Bhutia used to be one of those famous actresses earlier on. I think she's still acting. But this is what she said. Whoever said money can't buy happiness simply didn't know where to go shopping, right? So the landscape changes. This is what was there last year, around similar time, March 27, 2017. You have Amazon versus the top 5 brick and mortar retailers in America. So you see Amazon there is $405 billion. All the other retailers combined, Walmart, CVS, Costco, Target, Best Buy, etc., have a combined value of $411 billion. Okay? Now this is last year. Mind you, this is last year. Now in a year, what happens in a year with data, with all of this? Okay. So current market cap for Amazon is around $767 billion. So that exceeds the earlier graphic that I just showed you. So you see that $411 billion. The traditional brick and mortar retail are still around that figure, right? And Amazon, you can see, I mean, the graphics got a little bit screwed up, but here, this is what the market cap is. As of yesterday, this graphic is at around 4 p.m. Thailand, Bangkok time, $767 billion. Now, when we are talking about Amazon, we should not forget our context in Southeast Asia and Asia at large. So obviously, we have to recall Baba, right? Which Baba? Alibaba, yeah. So Alibaba there is, if you see the market cap, it's around $502 billion. Now, what has changed is all Alibaba, Amazon, and all the other companies that I mentioned are all data-rich companies. They get a lot of data, not only shopping data, customer data, retail data, but what they also get is they work on a lot, they mine this data, they create intelligence, deep neural nets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what does the future look like? Future, basically, there is people kind of are starting to write off mobile, but mobile is still going to be one of the biggest input devices in which commerce is experienced over the next decade or so still. Voice commerce is going to be one of the biggest proponents also in terms of increase, in terms of, I think by 2022, it's going to hit about $44 billion in the US and UK alone, voice commerce. And the retail experience is now going to be a mix between online and offline. So you have things that kind of will make that is basically the computer vision, facial recognition. Also, you have the staffless, AI assistants, bots, etc. And the autonomous supply chain, where you bring in drones, etc. And the experience with AR, VR, so mixed reality in the future, right? Yeah. So mobile commerce, this is what it looks like currently, right? So if you see the digital buyers data worldwide from 2016 and the projection to 2021 is you can see the number of digital buyers, number of internet users versus the change that's going to percolate over a period of time. And this is 14 plus years of internet users who have at least made one digital purchase, right? And it's in the billions, huh? So the retail m-commerce also sales worldwide, 2016 to 2021, is going to be about $3.56 trillion. And you will see the percentage change and a percent of what of e-commerce is going to be mobility. So mobility is going to increase hugely, significantly enough in terms of e-commerce. So that's why, I mean, there's no writing of mobile as of now. So these are ad spends kind of just to give you an idea of why data companies, again, rule the roost is because obviously it feeds off onto a cycle of its own, advertising, targeting, retargeting, and because all of that retargeting, targeting, advertising, and knowing your preference is also going to feed the big monster, which is the ad revenues, again, encouraging you to shop more, right? The voice commerce looks significantly like this, about $40 billion. I think it's around $44 billion in the US, UK combined. That's by 2022. That's the kind of projection. So you've got your devices like your Alexa, Siri, Google, whatever. I mean, you have those small voice devices at home. That basically this is how it's going to take off. And basically, this is the elephant in the room. For most of us that are talking about, where the next big growth for commerce will come from is going to be that. Because voice is, again, text agnostic. You have to understand that most of commerce today experienced around the world in mobile and web is text-based. So this is going to change because when you bring in voice, it changes everything. Even if you are illiterate or you cannot know the language or speak it, you'll still get that experience, right? Currently, it's very nascent, $1.8 billion of total online spends right now. In the UK, it's further less. So what is it going to look beyond, right? Beyond this, where you have the combination of AR, VR, all of that coming together, what is the experience of the future going to look like? So this is a small thing. If you can just have the sound a little bit up. Okay, so one is basically there's no standing in queues, right, and counters. The shopping is going to be more of experience. You are going to go into shop to have an experience. It has to be a bigger pull that these companies or these shopping malls, etc., that are offering you. This is MobiMart. MobiMart is currently being tested out in Shanghai. It's staffless. You can go, you can call it on your phone. It'll come to you. Woolies 24-hour store. And this helps take the shopping mall directly into the rural heartland also. in and around cities like Bangkok, etc., you have 7-Elevens, Watson, all these, so Walgreens, etc., in the US. But this is going to change, especially for the rural thing. You've heard of Amazon Go. They've tested this out in Seattle, which is this shop, which is, again, personless. You can just go in, do your stuff, right? Buy, and it will recognize you. It'll recognize you, and basically you can pay, and you can get off the store, and it will already bill you in, right? So automatically debited. So this is one. The other thing that is pretty interesting, but little off the chart, is basically this Amazon Dash button. So you have simple things like toilet paper, washing powder, etc. You just have these devices. You just keep clicking. If you're running short, you just click. It'll just order one more. Through your Wi-Fi, it links up to your Amazon account, and it orders one of this, where's a Campbell soup or whatever else it is. So it's very interesting. So you don't need to go and search and do all of those things. And obviously, in the online grocery space, the hyper-automation of all of that using AI, machine learning, is going to change a lot of things. So the thing that Okodo is trying to do is trying to fulfill your needs, your grocery needs, based on your shopping patterns. Before even ordering it, it will have the products delivered to you. So before you need it, so it knows. In current scenario, it has to know an event. That is basically your intent. So in the future, that intent is not even necessary. I mean, it will know, it will plan your monthly budget and etc. for you. So that's kind of interesting. Coop is doing something which is kind of mixed reality, which is basically providing you information on dashboards. You take the product there, you can scan it, get all the pricing information. The other big problem is when you're sourcing material, one of those things is the pedigree. Where is it sourced from? Because the future of shopping is also going to be that. You would want to know where the pedigree, where it came from, and all of these things help, especially what Coop and all is doing, giving you all the information of who was the farmer or whoever planted it and whether it was organic, inorganic, etc. And this is what it's about. Yeah, so it's about a more immersive experience, and also the events that basically kind of like take you there, right? So, having said that, now. Are we on to? Okay. The other thing that probably we should also address, which are more innovations, especially coming off of our nearby neighbors here in China, is new retail. And China and new retail is going to dominate the landscape because it does a lot of things that are very, very interesting. Some of the things are like this that you've seen probably a couple of times on the 1111, that they do. They do this immersive reality. On the 11/11 day, you can play your game along with whatever is being presented on TV while you're waiting for 12 o'clock midnight. You can do all of these things. You wait, immerse. It gives you, so this is what it has come up to. So you see all these people, they are engaging. So the engagement to bring people into the shopping mall has led to this. They are trying to do this Pokemon-type games, which will kind of, get you addicted in a way and bring engagement onto the shop floor. And then, yeah, this is Hema, which is like your Amazon Go, but they do it, they have the shopless thing. It's got facial recognition. It knows everything practically, and also within the 3-kilometer radius, you're going to get it in 30 minutes or less, your products, right? And also this is evolving because you have, in one sense, you have stockless kind of environment also that you can run. And the whole thing is now turning the whole retail experience into entertainment and sports with virtual and immersive reality. That probably is the future of retail. And we've seen that, those trends that are coming in right now. And so this probably is going to be one of those bigger things, right? So if you've experienced the 11/11 shopping festival, Alibaba's, this is pretty big. And till the time the actual sale happens, people are engaging, you get a lot of coupons. You see there, that family, they're all engaging with their phones, etc. And if you do, you'll win a promotion for the 11/11 thing. And so it's big. So now all of that comes with a lot of data, and data rich, and obviously a lot of, because once you have data, you have big data mining experience that goes into it, and you can get a whole new product offering in that sense, completely, I would say, subsidized by artificial intelligence to a large extent. And this is it. Even brands are building deeper connections. This is another experiment that they've done with Hema, which is this particular brand, which basically sells, I think, nutrients. This is the other example of Bose, again, doing the same thing, you know. They do this couponing. You can go experience. You can have these coupons online, and you can go and experience in the flagship store. They will give you this experience of the Bose speaker on a Ferrari. And the only thing that you need to do is scan your QR code. And it knows who you are. Basically, in the Tmall account, it knows who you are. You show it, and through Alipay, you just pay. And so that's a very interesting experience, right? And brands also get a very accurate idea of who you are, what you're doing, so that attribution and that kind of issue is totally resolved. So yeah, and that the next big business model in retail, etc., will be exported out of China, and so that's going to be one big thing. The last thought that I would leave you with is this. In the future, people are going to have lesser and lesser time to do research. Most of that research for products that they are going to buy, but they will care about the pedigree of products that they'll have. So if you're a new retailer that's kind of like trying to build up, or the SME that's trying to build up, you would want to have a good pedigree management and source identification system in place. So that probably is something that is going to be the next big goal. Thank you.
เอาล่ะค่ะขอเสียงปรบมือ